Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be doing some pewter casting. This is my first time doing anything like this, so let's give it a go. So here are the things we're going to be casting in pewter today. These are some Republic credits from the Clone Wars TV show. Now I modelled these when I was first learning to model things in the computer, so I thought this was a great little project to model when I was doing that. And now I think these are a great little project to mould and cast in pewter. I had my friend print these out on an SLA printer, that's a resin printer, and the detail and quality and finish on this is just fantastic. That is the big one that I did. And there's a smaller one. Now I've not done any pewter casting before, so that's new to me, but the first thing we've got to do is make a mould of this, and that I have done before, so let's get cracking. Now here's the basic idea of what I want to do. This is going to be our credit here, and then we're going to have a pouring sprue at the top, and then a vent at the bottom cut, which comes back to the top to let air out as the pewter goes in. In my research that I've done, I've seen the vertical moulds for pewter feel a lot better than flat ones, so we're going to make the mould flat, but then cast it vertical. Hopefully it all makes sense in a minute. Got a lovely big sheet of foam board here, so now we're just going to make our walls for the mould. Right. None of that can get out. There's our mould box all ready to go. I've got my thing that I'm going to be casting. He's going to go in there just off center so we can cut that air vent in. So I've got my two molds ready. They are ready for the silicone to be poured. What I'm going to be using is this one. This is a high temperature silicone, much like the ones you can get from Smooth On, but I got this from a site. I'll leave a link to where I got it below. But it says the demelt time on this is 1 to 3 hours, depending on the temperature and humidity, etc. I will leave it overnight, but then it also recommends to leave for 4 to 5 days after the mold is made before putting any casts into it. I'm just going to follow the instructions and pour our molds. So as you saw, I used a brush and brushed in that silicone into all those details before I poured the rest of it. That was to make sure I captured the lovely details that were on the top of these models. After that, it was just pouring into a low spot in the mold and then filling them up. When that was done, I just put them aside and let them cure. So here we go. They've been sitting for a few days and it's time to cut them free. I think the model had undercuts on it and I glued the model down, so this might not come free, so I'm just going to have to tease and break this backboard. So those two spots of glue we glued down with pop off. There we go. So there we are. That's our mold there. There's my spout. We can just see how that goes when we try some pours, and I've just drawn in a pen line here, and that's going to be my vent going right to the top. So we pour over here and then the vent's over here, so hopefully we don't get any overspill over here. There we go, two molds ready to go. I'm just going to cut some aluminium back plates out of that hobby aluminium, and that will provide a nice clamp there. They'll get clamped together, and then we're ready to pour some pewter. So here are those plates that I've cut. So these are going to be my clamps to hold all the molds together. Hopefully the clamps over here are enough to give enough pressure to clamp everything shut. I've got a melting pot right here. This is what's going to melt our pewter. I've also cut a chunk of casting pewter. This is a fine casting pewter. I'll leave a link down below where I got this if you want to try it yourself. This is what I'm going to be using. This is just going to go in here and we're going to heat that up. I've got all my safety gear. I've got a respirator, safety glasses, and most importantly, heat resistant gloves. So this should be all the protection that I need to do this safely. So the first thing I'm going to do is dust the molds with some talc, baby powder. This will release the surface tension on the mold and hopefully mean we get a good cast. What I'm going to do is get this going. We're going to heat up the pewter and let it all melt, get ready. I'm going to seal the molds up. We're then going to heat the molds up with a heat gun. Because from what I've seen, you don't want to put this pewter straight into a cold mold because you're putting a very hot pewter into a cold mold. It's very cold out here at the moment. It is winter. I am outside with the big door open, so it's very cold. So I'm going to be heating up the molds so it's not going to just instantly set in our pouring spout or anything like that. So I'm going to get all safetied up and get this going. I'm doing it in a steel tray, so if we do get any spillage, it's not going to damage anything. So one of the features with this particular melting pot is that it's got this lever. When you lift the lever, it actually undoes a hole in the bottom, and the pewter can actually pour out of the bottom. So hopefully I'm going to be doing that and pouring it into my little pourer here, and then into the mold. Look, it's melted. I've just grabbed some more clamps because I'm not happy how these are clamped. I think they need a little more, but we're going to go for a pour. Now I've got a suspicious feeling that my molds weren't warm enough, and that when the metal touched this aluminium, it would have just wicked all the heat out because this aluminium would have been too cold. Probably should have had the heat gun on it some more. This is a very cold day. I think these should be okay to demold. So let's see how we did, shall we? Are we ready? Yeah. No, nowhere near. Oh dear. Good thing is, even though it didn't work, go straight back in the pot. Use it again. That one I wasn't too hopeful for. This one I'm more hopeful for. So let's see if this one filled. Ready? Oh, it looks good. It does look good. Look at that. There we go. Pretty happy with that. I think we can do better, for sure. For sure. But I'm going to keep that one anyway, because that is a good one. Let's set up and go again. So I'm all set up again. What I did do is go in and widen the sprue holes where the sprue meets the object in there. Hopefully that will give us a much better pour. And I'm going to go in with the heat gun a lot more before I pour the pewter this time. Hopefully so that this doesn't act as a massive heat sink and take away all our heat once it goes in. Alrighty, round two. Let's see how we did. How do you reckon? A little warm still. You ready? Oh, not quite. Not quite a fill. Now this little one felt better this time. There we go. Yes! Yeah, man. We got him. Let's see how well it filled that detail. So the cast filled. I think I've got a problem with powder in my details from that from the talc, so I've got to make sure that I blow all that out. And that one's okay, but I think again we can do much better. I think so. I'm just gonna keep going and see if we can get some good casts of this. I'm really happy with this setup. They're very upright. They seem to be working. I'm just gonna heat these some more because I still think we're cooling down far too quickly, and I'm also gonna get the pewter a little hotter, I think, because it was going off in my little pourer as I was pouring. So I think if we have just a little bit of extra temperature without burning it, we should be a lot better off. Alrighty. That went pretty well for a first go. That all went pretty well. Look, here we go. So I got some decent enough castings out of those molds. I'll do some more later, but I thought I'd just have a go at cleaning up some of these. And this is by no means all of the ones that I cast. If the caster was bad, I just chucked the pewter back in and we had another go. Got a piece of 240 here, so let's just have a go at sanding some of those off. I've got some flush cutters here to help cut off all the little bits of sprue that I've got left. I used the bandsaw to cut off the main sprue because I couldn't get that off another way. So I actually went back and did some more casting. I found actually dumping the pewter from the back instead of that sandwich method worked a lot better in getting these details on the front, and it's been a lot crisper and I'm getting much better results on the front here by putting it in from the back. It does leave them with a much rougher back, but I'd rather have the back to tidy up than have a bad cast on the front. Now I have gone in on the belt sander already and tidied up some of these edges, and I'm going to run those up through the grits of sandpaper as well. This pewter does sand very easily, it's very soft, so it sands beautifully, really easily. But I had to figure out a way to sand the backs, because on the belt sander, trying to sand on something moving very fast, like holding it like that, was not ideal. So what I've done is bought this, which is a jeweler's clamp. This just means I can grip it very close to the edge with a lot of force across a large area. It's very good for that, and it also means that my fingers are going to be safe from the sander, so I can just hold it up to the machine and sand that back, and I can get all that nice and flat. I've got these castings sanded to where I'm happy with them, and now all we've got to do is go to the polishing mop and polish them, and then we are done. So there we go, that's the credits all done. You know, I'm quite happy for a first go. These have turned out pretty well. You know, there's a few bits on the surface that would have liked to have done better. Like, I didn't think that the prints needed some cleanup. They could probably do with some cleanup to reduce some of these lines that are actually on these, which I can only see now that these are all polished up. So there is that. But yeah, otherwise these turned out okay, and I do have a few sets. I've of course got a set for myself. Now, as you saw, there are a few sets of these, and I'm going to be putting those sets over on Etsy. There really won't be a lot of these, so if you do want some of these, then do check them out sooner rather than later. I'm not sure how many of these I'll be making, but if you want a set, they're over there. Having said that, I also have a few more of these bigger ones than I do the little ones, so there's not a complete set there. And I think as we've just reached 6,000 subs here on the channel, I'm going to be doing a little giveaway. So I'll have 3 of these big ones to give away. That giveaway is going to happen over on Instagram. So if you want to be a part of that, do go and follow me over there at buckethead.studios. I'll post all the info there. I've got something a little bit fun in mind, which should be just a little fun thing for everyone to do, and for a chance to pick up one of these just to add to your collection. Now you might be saying, whoa, Dan, these little ones should be gold. Why isn't it gold? As of yet, I've been unable to find something that I'm kind of happy with to make this gold. Of course, it could be painted or something like that, but for me, for that authentic feeling, I feel like it has to be kind of plated or something of that kind for it to be gold, you know, and to be more legitimate. I've yet to figure out a way to do that. Of course, when I do, I'll bring you guys along. And if you have any suggestions on ways to make this gold, I'd love to hear them. I've been doing some research, but yeah, if you know a good way, do let me know down below. And hopefully in the future we'll get this little one to be gold. That would just complete the look of these pieces. Of course, I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, stay safe, take care, bye bye.